My mother-in-law's birthday was coming up, and my wife, Ashley, planned to drive her new BMW back to her hometown to show it off. But right before we were supposed to leave, a torrential downpour started. Ashley's high school flame, Cody, wanted a bummer ride, so she told me to take the train by myself. I was ecstatic. I immediately went online and booked an Amtrak ticket. In my previous life, I refused to give up my seat for Cody. Ashley mocked me for being poor, for not being able to afford a bigger car. My 8-year-old daughter, Mia, chimed in, telling me I was a loser, that her friends' dads all drove Porsches. Furious, I slapped Mia across the face and insisted on going with them. Halfway there, we got caught in a landslide. After I moved everyone to a safe spot, Ashley started crying about the car, trapped in the middle of the road. She threw a fit, demanding I go back and drive it out. Just then, a second slide hit. I was crushed, a mess of blood and bone on the spot. After my death, Ashley collected a massive life insurance payout and scattered my ashes. She and her high school sweetheart lived happily ever after. This time, I'm letting them have this opportunity for a deadly reunion. 3 days after we bought the car, Ashley started gearing up for her mom's birthday trip. She spent a month preparing for her grand return, buying 2 huge suitcases of new clothes just for the occasion. I was hauling luggage to the car in the rain when Cody called her. He didn't just ask for a ride. He made an outrageous request. He wanted to tell everyone back home that the BMW was his, just to show off. Ashley hesitated. After all, the whole point of driving back was to one-up her old high school friends. But her hesitation lasted only a few seconds before she agreed, because she never said no to Cody. Hanging up, Ashley turned to me. "Cody's riding with us. You could just take the train." Her parents' town wasn't on a high-speed rail line. Besides driving, the only way there was a slow Amtrak coach. I was still reeling from the shock of my second chance at life. She saw my expression, and her face soured. "Ethan, what's with that look? Cody's an old friend, just asking for a small favor. Why are you being so cheap? He's willing to ride in your car. That's a compliment. Don't be ungrateful." I managed a faint smile. "But there are 3 of us, plus Cody. That's only 4 people. The car fits 5. Why do I have to take the train?" Ashley rolled her eyes, a smirk playing on her lips. "I have to pack my camera and my laptop, a few boxes of clothes for me and Mia, the liquor for Dad, and the jewelry and bags for Mom. Add Cody's luggage to that. And where's the room for anyone extra?" I dropped the suitcase I was holding. "So you're saying I'm the extra person?" She froze for a second, then launched into a tirade. "Isn't it because you're poor? If you had money and bought a bigger car, we wouldn't have to squeeze." But she never stopped to think about why I didn't have money. Since we got married, I've been the one paying for her parents' annual snowbird trips to Florida. I covered the down payment for her brother's house and his wedding. I even paid for her sister's college tuition. I glanced up at the steady drizzle, knowing it was about to turn into a full-blown storm. I swallowed my words. After all, if I was about to send her to her doom, what was the point of arguing? Just then, my 8-year-old daughter Mia ran out of the building. She grabbed her mom's arm and started hitting me with her teddy bear. "Mommy's right. My friends' dads all drive Porsches. Daddy, you're just a loser." She tearfully yelled at me. "I want the whole back seat to myself to lie down. I don't want Daddy squished next to me." I was utterly disappointed in this little monster I had raised. Ashley, however, wore a triumphant smile. I sighed. "Fine, you guys go ahead. I'll just stay home." But that didn't please her either. She glared at me. "What do you mean you're not going?" I told my followers I'd be posting a video of the birthday dinner tonight. "If you're not there to cook, everyone will know I'm a fraud." Ashley was a budding influencer. The persona she'd crafted for herself was the tireless, devoted housewife. But she couldn't cook to save her life. All the gourmet meals on her Instagram feed were my creations, edited and uploaded later. No one ever suspected a thing. In my past life, as I lay dying, her main concern wasn't for my safety, but how she was going to make her videos if I died. Maybe, in her eyes, that was my only value. Just in case, Ashley watched me book the train ticket on my phone. Right on cue, Cody arrived. He held an umbrella, dragged 2 large suitcases, and gave me a smirk. Ashley said the train seats are too stiff. She didn't want me to suffer. "So, thanks for taking one for the team, Ethan." He then Venmo'd me $50. "I don't want to take advantage. Here's 50 for your ticket." Ashley sidled up, looking at me smugly. "See? I told you Cody's a stand-up guy." I wasn't angry at all. I accepted the payment and smiled at Cody. I hear you've been taking good care of my wife and kid while I'm away on business. I should really thank you for that. His smile was laced with provocation. It's nothing compared to what Ashley's done for me. I looked pointedly at my wife, Ashley. She looked flustered. Of course, I knew. Since the day we were married, she'd been secretly buying him gifts. The limited edition, $1,200 sneakers he was wearing right now? A gift from her. To cover her guilt, Ashley hurried Mia into the car. Cody then proceeded to pull the water and snacks I'd packed out of the trunk to make room for his luggage. Ashley ran over to inspect, then shot me a look of pure disdain. God, you're so lame. Who even packs a bunch of food and drinks for a road trip anymore? It takes up so much space. I asked, you sure you don't want to take some? What if you get hungry? You hick. There are rest stops on highway. She stomped her foot at me in frustration. I looked at the pile of discarded supplies on the wet pavement. I laughed to myself. When the landslide hits and they're stranded, let's see what they eat and drink then. Ashley then gently handed the car keys to Cody. You love this car, right? Why don't you drive? Cody, however, smoothly slipped into the passenger seat. I didn't sleep well last night. You drive? You can hand it over to me when we get close to town. I glanced at the high heels Ashley was wearing and almost burst out laughing. Ashley hated driving. Once on a road trip, I drove for 13 straight hours, and she never once offered to take turn. This time, I was curious to see how she'd manage the drive back to her hometown all by herself. Probably afraid I'd gloat, Ashley steeled herself and got into the driver's seat. She was all about appearances, didn't own a single pair of flat shoes, and could only start the engine in her stilettos. Then, Ashley casually tossed the first aid kit out of the car. Why would we bring this? It takes up space, and it's bad luck. The car lurched and swerved away into the rain. I turned around, canceled my ticket, and booked a new one. This time, I was finally going home to celebrate my own mom's birthday. My mom and my mother-in-law share the same birthday. Before we got married, Ashley and I had agreed we would alternate whose mom we celebrated with and alternate holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving. But after the wedding, she went back on her word. Now, 10 years into our marriage, with Mia being 8, I hadn't been back for my parents' birthdays or even for Christmas, not once. Every time I brought it up, Ashley threatened to divorce me. She said my family was too poor and trashy, and we had to keep our distance so they wouldn't try to mooch off us. Half an hour later, I was on my train. It had been a while since I'd been on an Amtrak coach, and watching the scenery rush by, I felt amazing. Ashley hadn't bothered me, probably too busy flirting with Cody. But an hour later, the rain intensified, hammering against the windows. Watching the trees outside bend and sway, I got a call from my wife. She immediately laid into me. Ethan, where are you? I didn't answer directly, just asked what was wrong. The rain's getting worse. It's too dangerous. Get off at the next station and come find me. You need to drive. How interesting. She kicks me out of the car, and now she wants me back? In my last life, I had wanted to pull over and wait for the storm to pass as soon as it got heavy. But Ashley said, "What's a little rain?" Cody added that I was a coward and not a real man. Even Mia cried that the car was too cramped and uncomfortable, telling me to speed up and get to Grandma's. And now that they were driving, they suddenly felt unsafe. I told Ashley, the train's delayed. I haven't even boarded yet. You could pull over at a rest stop and wait it out. Ashley was on the verge of tears. We passed one, but it was completely full. Cars were backed up onto the highway. I had no choice but to keep driving. I fought back a laugh. Well, try the next one, but you better step on it, or that one will be full too. You can't just stop on the highway. Even if she didn't want to, she had to keep driving. Ashley hung up in a rage. I pulled a beef jerky stick and a beer from my bag and savored them. 8. The thought that my wife and daughter had been too excited this morning and had only half a carton of milk each made me feel even better. Another hour passed. Ashley called again. Her voice was frantic. Ethan, what do I do? This rest stop is full too. I sighed. Ashley, don't panic. You'll find a rest stop with an open spot eventually. In the background, Mia was wailing. Mommy, I'm hungry. I want cake. Mommy, I'm so thirsty. My throat is on fire. I pretended I couldn't hear clearly. Ashley, what's wrong with Mia? Ashley paused, then whispered, Mia's thirsty and hungry. I sneered. I thought you said there was food at the rest stops. I told you to pack some this morning, but you insisted on throwing it out. Ashley snapped. Why are you yelling at me? I've been driving for hours. I'm hungry, thirsty, and exhausted, and now you're yelling at me. We can't even get into the rest stops, and even if we could, all the food would be gone by now. You're so stubborn. Why did you pack all the food together? Think hard. Did you put any snacks in the other bags? I was about to say no. Then I had another idea. I'm not sure. Why don't you pull over on the shoulder and check? Ashley finally sounded relieved. But 20 minutes later, she called back, screaming hysterically. Ethan, are you insane? We got out and went through every single bag. We're soaked to the bone, and there isn't a single bite to eat or a drop to drink. The image of them as drowned rats filled me with joy. But I played innocent. I told you I wasn't sure. How's that my fault? Ashley was losing her mind. I don't care. The next place I can stop, I'm stopping. You have to get here as fast as you can and bring us food and water. She always ordered me around, no matter the time or place. In my last life, after we were trapped by the landslide, I had immediately moved the three of them to safety. The moment we were clear, she started yelling at me to go find food. I walked for over 10 miles in the pouring rain until I found a driver willing to share his supplies. He gave me 2 bags of sandwiches, and I gave him $100. I didn't take a single bite myself, bringing both bags back to them. But when Ashley heard I'd paid $100, she called me an idiot. I never see you bringing any money home, but you're sure quick to spend it. Are you stupid? $100 for 2 bags of sandwiches. After berating me, she sent me back to the car to find her change of clothes. By the time I returned, they had eaten everything. Cody ate 1 whole bag, and Ashley and Mia shared the other. I asked them why they didn't save any for me. Cody glared at me. Ethan, are you even a man? You were out and about. You obviously ate your fill already. You bring us back 2 measly sandwiches and you want a piece. $100 for 2 bags of sandwiches. Who's going to believe that? You probably stuffed your face with good food before bringing us this crap. Spurred on by his words, Mia ran up and bit me hard on the arm. And Ashley, her hunger satisfied, remembered the car stuck on the road. She started screaming at me again, ordering me to go get it. That's how I ended up being crushed by the falling rocks, dying instantly. It was about half an hour until the landslide. I went to the bathroom for a leisurely cigarette. Back in my seat, I opened TikTok. It was flooded with videos of the storm. In many areas, mudslides and rockfalls had already started. Cars were smashed to pieces, and casualties were high. Just then, I saw a new post on Cody's Instagram story. He had snapped a picture of someone else's car crash and posted it with a caption. Thank God my BMW is a beast. Boys, wait for me. We'll grab dinner when I'm back. Underneath, Ashley's high school friends were all commenting. Even my mother-in-law and sister-in-law had liked the post. It seemed Ashley's family, who lived off my money, had never considered me one of them. And all I could think was, Cody's friends shouldn't be waiting for him for dinner. They should be waiting for his funeral. Then, a video call from Ashley came through. On screen, she was drenched, her face pale. Ethan, when are you going to meet up with us? I put on a worried expression and told her I'm on the train, but there was a landslide up ahead, so we're stopped. We're in the middle of nowhere. Maybe you should come back and get me. Ashley cursed me out, calling me useless. Then, lowering her voice, she said, You need to do something about your daughter. She won't stop crying and screaming that she's thirsty and hungry. But aren't we all? Hurry up and scold her. Her whining is giving me a headache. I can't even drive properly. This was classic Ashley. When Mia needed disciplining, it was my job. I was always the bad guy. But when it came time to buy Mia gifts, she always did it alone. I complained about it once, and she'd call me petty and small-minded. Every family has a strict dad and a loving mom. What's your problem? You want to switch roles. As a result, Mia grew to resent me more and more, while she and her mom were as thick as thieves. Thinking of this, I cleared my throat and spoke loudly. Ashley, Mia is a child. Why are you getting mad at a child? Besides, if you and Cody hadn't thrown out all the food, would she be suffering like this now? You're her mother. You don't feel guilty, and instead you want me to yell at her for you. Before I could finish, my daughter burst into loud sobs. She started screaming and kicking the back of the front seat. Bad mommy. Bad uncle. It's all your fault. You just want to starve me. Stop the car. Stop the car right now. I want to eat. Daddy. I want daddy. Mia's kicking was making Ashley's whole body shake. She desperately yelled at Cody. Stop sleeping. Help me grab Mia. But by now, hunger and rage had made my daughter completely lose control. She unbuckled her seatbelt. She lunged over the seat, throwing herself directly at Ashley. Ashley screamed in terror. The phone fell to the floor. Then I heard a loud bang. Ashley had reached the exact spot where I had died in my past life. A landslide ahead had caused a massive traffic jam on the highway. With Mia grabbing the steering wheel, Ashley had rear-ended the car in front of them. The other driver immediately got out and started recording for evidence. When he saw Ashley's high heels, he sneered. Another menace on the road. Thanks to the airbags, Ashley and Cody weren't seriously hurt. But Mia, without a seatbelt, had flown into the windshield. The glass shattered, and her face was covered in blood. There was no doctor on site. Ashley rummaged through the luggage for the first aid kit I had packed. After searching frantically, she remembered she had thrown it out of the car herself. All she could do was grab some clothes and press them against Mia's head and face to stop the bleeding. Mia was screaming bloody murder. People around them were urging Ashley to move to a safer area. Sitting in the car, even if no more rocks fell, a rear-end collision from behind could still be fatal. The torrential rain continued. Ashley clutched her daughter, both of them soaked to the bone. Cody, who had been sleeping soundly in the car, was now circling the vehicle, inspecting the damage. He ran his hands through his hair in distress, cursing nonstop, as if the car were really his. After a few laps, he came back and urged Ashley to call the insurance company. Hearing Mia's agonized cries, he slapped her across the face. "What are you crying for? You little jinx. If you hadn't grabbed the wheel, would the car be this messed up? How are we supposed to drive into town now? I finally get a decent car to show off, and you ruin it." With that, he took a picture and posted it to his Instagram story again. "My BMW kissed the car in front. But it's okay. Out with the old, in with the new." His friends immediately commented, "Sounds like Cody's upgrading again. That's our Cody. Always ballin'." Cody basked in the admiration of his followers. Meanwhile, my daughter was stunned into silence by the slap, biting her lip, too scared to make a sound. And Ashley, who was always so quick to boss me around, didn't dare say a word when she saw her daughter get hit. A moment later, Ashley saw someone recording a video. Realizing this was an opportunity to get some views, she grabbed her phone and started a live stream. I clicked into her broadcast. Seeing the wife and daughter I had once cherished in such a state, I felt a pang of sadness. Just then, Mia whispered to Ashley that she was hungry. Ashley, feeling for her child, asked Cody to go find some food. Cody shot her a glare. "Money." Ashley Venmo'd him $1,000. Cody took Ashley's phone. "I'm going to live stream this whole thing, so no one can try to price gouge during a disaster and profit off people's misery." He started the stream under the guise of being Ashley's brother, holding the phone as he walked off. He didn't forget to look back and tell Ashley, "Any donations I get during this stream are mine." Ashley looked confused. I knew why. Because Ashley had always believed that Cody was her biggest online supporter, her top fan. After Mia was born, Ashley had been a stay-at-home mom. Earlier this year, she suddenly decided to become an influencer and sell products online. 12, 13. But after 2 months of effort, she only had a handful of followers. Then one day, a top fan appeared her live stream and sent her 5 lion gifts, the most expensive kind on TikTok. 14, 15. The gifts drew in viewers, and her follower count started to grow. This top fan even created a fan group on Discord, making himself the admin, and brought in a ton of followers to buy her products. We never knew who the top fan was until one day, Ashley mysteriously told me it was her old classmate, Cody. But today, Cody was being so stingy. Ashley was clearly having a hard time accepting it. Cody trudged forward in the downpour. But in this situation, food and water were people's only hope for survival. Before rescue crews arrived, no one was willing to share, not even for a high price. Cody was furious, cursing the selfish people who refused to share. He walked for over 10 miles, muttering and swearing. He eventually found the same kind driver who had sold me the sandwiches in my past life. The man only had 5 bags of artisanal brioche sandwiches left, which he had bought for his daughter. In my last life, when he heard my daughter was starving, he had spared 2 bags for me. This time, Cody also played the sympathy card. "There's a little girl back there, badly injured, only 8 years old, about your daughter's age. Please have pity on the kid. The driver was moved and agreed to sell Cody 2 bags. But he wanted $100. Cody was exhausted and starving, barely able to walk. He had no choice but to pay the man the $100. But as soon as he turned around, he secretly recorded the man's license plate and blasted it on the live stream. What a joke. $100 for 2 bags of sandwiches. He might as well just rob people. When the rescuers get here, the first thing I'm doing is calling the cops on him. He expected the viewers to join him in tearing the driver apart. But unexpectedly, the comments were overwhelmingly against him. In this kind of weather, the guy gives you life-saving food, and you put him on blast? Exactly. And did you see he's driving a Bentley? You think he needs your $100? Those aren't just sandwiches. They're from a specialty bakery. You have to pre-order them. They're like $50 a bag. So 2 for $100 is actually fair. Cody didn't get any gifts, just a stream of ridicule. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. What kind of crap sandwich costs $50 a bag? I don't believe it. He opened one bag and started eating as he walked. In no time, one bag was gone. He pursed his lips. Didn't even taste that great. Though he said that, his hands were already tearing open the second bag. By the time he got back to the crash site, both bags of sandwiches were gone. Ashley saw him returning from a distance and ran up to him, overjoyed. But Cody told her couldn't get any food. The viewers in the live stream weren't buying it. They flooded the chat, telling Ashley, "Your brother spent $100 on 2 bags of gourmet sandwiches and ate them all himself. Is this guy really your brother?" Okay, so he doesn't save any for his sister, but what about the badly injured little girl? That driver only gave him the sandwiches because he heard a little girl was hurt. How could her own uncle eat them all? Ashley was trembling with rage. "Cody, are you even human? How could you eat all the sandwiches?" Mia, hearing the food was gone, started crying again. But she was afraid of Cody, so she only whimpered softly. Through her tears, she licked the rainwater from her face. "Mommy, I'm hungry." Ashley wiped her own tears and hugged her daughter, apologizing. It was clear that, despite everything, Ashley did love her daughter. Cody, annoyed, glared at them. "So annoying. Go cry somewhere else. A family of jinxes. If I had known this would happen, I would have taken the train myself." Ashley, outnumbered and outmatched, could only hug her daughter and retreat. Desperate, she video called me again. Seeing her huddled with Mia in the pouring rain, my heart almost broke. But then I remembered everything she had done, and I suppressed my pity. Ashley was sobbing. "Honey, where are you? We're stuck in a landslide, and we got into an accident." Hearing her call me honey for the first time in ages, I felt a mix of emotions. I forced myself to stay calm. I told her, "Ashley, I'm at my parents' house." Her eyes widened. "You're at your parents' house? Why didn't you come get us first?" She paused, looking at the background behind me. "Wait, this isn't your parents' house. You're lying. Ethan, tell me the truth. Where are you? Are you out cheating on me with some other woman?" She was useless at everything else, but she had perfected the art of turning the tables. I set my suitcase down. I aimed my phone's camera at a photo on the wall. "I'm at my parents' house." She still didn't believe me. "You gotta be kidding me. This place is so nice. It looks like a resort. Since when did your family have this kind of money?" I didn't bother explaining. "I'm here to celebrate my mom's birthday. There are landslides everywhere. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't help you. Cody's a stand-up guy, right? I'm sure he'll get you all back to your hometown safely." Ashley was furious. "Ethan, we agreed to celebrate my mom's birthday. What are you doing at your parents' house? We're trapped on the highway and you don't care? Are you even a man?" I replied calmly. "Weren't you the one who kicked me out of the car this morning so you could go with your high school flame?" She unleashed her full fury. "I don't care. You have to come get us right now. Bring us food. If you don't, we're getting a divorce." My daughter chimed in, shouting at the screen, "You're a loser, Dad. I don't want a dad like you. Mommy should divorce you." Their faces were twisted in rage. It was nauseating. In front of Cody, they wouldn't dare to breathe a word. But with me, all they knew how to do was use divorce as a weapon. I said to Ashley, my voice cold, "Fine, let's get a divorce." I hung up the phone. I dragged my suitcase toward the back of the house. Inside, a large group of people was gathered around a dining table. My mom was wearing a birthday hat, a huge cake in front of her. Government policies in rural areas had improved, and my parents had started a bed and breakfast a few years ago. Now, they were making nearly $1 million a year, with 20 to 30 employees. Because it was my mom's birthday, they had closed the business for the day to celebrate. Seeing me appear at the door, everyone froze. The employees had only heard that the owners had a son. They had never actually seen me. My parents had more gray hair, but they looked healthy and happy. My knees buckled. I fell to the ground. Mom, Dad, your son has been ungrateful. I'm finally back to celebrate Mom's birthday. With no help from me, Ashley's live stream continued. She was hoping to use her minor influencer status to get some food. The autumn rain was cold, and the temperature had dropped to the low 60s. As the rain got heavier, hypothermia started to set in. If they didn't eat soon, they wouldn't last. But Ashley noticed that the number of viewers in her live stream was incredibly low. The 20 or 30 people watching were just there for the drama, to curse out Cody for stealing my daughter's sandwiches. Ashley thought for a moment, then swallowed her pride and went to Cody. There are hardly any people in the stream. Can you send me some gifts to boost the numbers? Maybe a follower is on his highway too and can bring us some food. But Cody refused to cooperate. My phone is dead. Ashley didn't believe him. How is that possible? You were sleeping the whole way. Your phone was charging. You barely used it. Cody then claimed his phone had gotten wet and wasn't working. Ashley was suspicious. Are you kidding me? What kind of phone stops working after getting a little rain on it? Cody, you're usually so generous with the gifts. What's going on with you today? Fine, whatever you spend on gifts, I'll pay you back. How about that? To get more viewers, she had to resort to this. But Cody still refused, now saying the signal was bad. Ashley didn't buy it. I've been live streaming this whole time without any issues. How can a signal be bad? She tried to grab his phone. Let me see. What is really going on? You haven't been lying to me this whole time, have you? You're not my top fan, are you? She had just said it casually. But Cody flew into a rage and shoved her hard. He came clean. You're right. I'm not some top fan. Take a look at yourself. Only an idiot like Ethan would treat you like a treasure. You want me to send you gifts? Are you worthy? There are plenty of pretty 18-year-old girls on these streams. Why would I spend money on you instead of them? Am I crazy? Ashley stood there, dumbfounded. She pushed Mia aside and lunged at him, scratching and clawing. Then why did you lie to me and say you're my top fan? I bought you $1,200 sneakers because of that. I've never even bought my husband shoes that cost over $100. Cody grabbed her by the hair and slapped her twice across the face. It's because you kept talking about wanting a BMW. I only pretended to be your top fan to get you to lend me the car, so I could show off back home. But who knew you were such bad luck? Now we're all stuck here, and the car is wrecked. I tried to steal a chicken, but ended up losing the rice I used as bait. Ashley was stunned by the blows. Mia ran to help her up, but Cody kicked her, sending her flying. My daughter's leg was broken. In that moment, they both thought of me again. They sent me a video call together. But when they saw that I was in the middle of a meal, Ashley broke down again. Ethan, you monster. Your wife and daughter are starving and freezing to death. Mia was in a car accident and has a broken leg, and you're out having a fancy dinner with your parents. I'm ordering you to find a car and come pick us up right now. She never mentioned that it was Cody who had broken Mia's leg. But I knew everything, because not far from where Ashley was, someone else was also live streaming. That person had even broadcasted the entire rear-end collision. When I found their stream, I immediately contacted them. I asked them to keep their camera on Ashley and record everything that happened. I raised an eyebrow. Ashley, I told you, I want to help, but I can't. If you're really that desperate for food, why don't you have Cody go get some more? This time, Cody demanded $5,000 from Ashley. To prevent anyone from accusing him of being a swindler, he started another live stream before setting off. By now, the rain was letting up. More people were getting out of their cars. There was even a rumor that rescue teams were on their way. People were talking to each other, sharing food and water. But when they saw Cody, their faces hardened. Everyone there knew that Cody had put the kind driver on blast after getting the sandwiches, and that he had eaten all the food meant for Mia. It's that guy again. Don't give him any food. He'll just eat it all himself. The little girl won't get a bite. Is he really the little girl's uncle? He doesn't look like it. Someone in the live stream earlier said he's the woman's high school flame, not her brother. Oh my God, so they were cheating on the kid's dad and got caught in a landslide. And the worst part is the woman, bringing her kid along while she's cheating. The insults were relentless. This time, Cody walked for 20 miles and came back empty-handed. He took all his frustration out on Ashley. He grabbed her and started beating her senseless. And the onlookers, now knowing their true relationship, did nothing to stop him. Some even cheered. Ashley, bruised and swollen, started another live stream to play the victim. Just then, her top fan suddenly appeared online and immediately requested a video chat. Ashley's confidence returned in a flash. But when the video connected, she froze. On the other end of the screen was her mother-in-law, my mother. It turned out that when Ashley first started her live streaming business, she had very few viewers. One day, my mom was scrolling through TikTok and stumbled upon her stream. Seeing her daughter-in-law talking herself hoarse without making a single sale, the old woman felt sorry for her and bought 100 items. She also sent 5 lying gifts. From then on, whenever she had time, she would go to Ashley's live stream to send gifts and place large orders. To help Ashley gain popularity, my mom, at her age, had the B&B staff teach her how to create a fan group on Discord and how to manage it. And so, with my mom's secret support, Ashley's follower count grew to over 20,000. But she never knew the true identity of her top fan, because my mom kept it a secret, not even telling me, which allowed Cody to take advantage of the situation and lie to Ashley. Now that Ashley knew the truth, she burst into tears. She declared that she was turning the car around immediately to come celebrate my mom's birthday. But her plan was thwarted by Cody. He blocked her, refusing to let her drive away. I already bragged to all my buddies back home that I'd be rolling in with a BMW. If you leave now, what am I going to show them? Ashley looked at him with contempt. You want a BMW? Go buy one yourself. Why are you trying to act big with my husband's car? The moment she found out he wasn't her top fan, his image in her mind shattered. Now he just looked pathetic and disgusting. Cody slapped her across the face. Damn it. Now you remember you have a husband? Where was that thought when you were screaming my name in bed? Now you think I'm a loser? Did you forget all the times you called him a poor, worthless piece of trash? Damn, any guy who ends up with a woman like you is cursed. Ashley had finally had enough. She opened the trunk and threw his luggage onto the ground. Take your stuff and get out of here right now. This is my family's car. Who do you think you are? Order me around. Cody threw his luggage back in, then started throwing Ashley's and Mia's things out. If anyone's getting out, it's you too. You said I could borrow the car. You can't go back on your word. You want me to get out now? This is a highway. How am I supposed to get back to town? If you're so tough, why don't you and your daughter go find your husband? They fought by the side of the car, throwing things out and then back in. Soon, their belongings were scattered all over the wet pavement. Just then, some people from a nearby town started selling instant noodles and hot dogs. Mia, terrified, hungry, and cold, could barely make a sound. Ashley had to get some food for her daughter first. But when she checked her phone, she found she had no money. The last $5,000 she had were transferred to Cody. So, she demanded he transfer it back. You didn't buy anything. Why are you keeping my money? Cody was defiant. You think I walked 20 miles for free? It's not my fault I couldn't buy anything. If you're so capable, why don't you go find food yourself? Why rely on me? He bought himself a cup of noodles for $50, not complaining about the price anymore, and 2 hot dogs. He slurped them down with relish. Ashley completely lost it. She lunged forward, knocked the noodles out of his hands, and clawed at his face. I'll teach you to eat. I'll teach you. The two of them were locked in a brawl. Suddenly, a rumbling sound came from the mountainside. People nearby screamed at them. Stop fighting. Get back here. There's another landslide. But the two of them were so caught up in their fight, they didn't hear a thing. At the critical moment, the influencer I had asked to film everything pulled my daughter to safety. But my wife and Cody weren't so lucky. They were hit by a cascade of falling boulders. Instantly crushed, a mess of blood and bone. Both of them were barely breathing. Coincidentally, the rescue team arrived at that exact moment. But with limited resources, they only had one set of emergency medical equipment. Cody, unnoticed, used his last ounce of strength to cover my wife's mouth and nose with his hand. Soon, Ashley's eyes closed and she lay still. Her hand went limp. A large rock that had been pinning her down shifted. It rolled directly onto Cody's already bloodied head. The paramedics arrived, did a quick check, and shook their heads. 2 more fatalities. I went to the insurance company and collected the huge payout from my wife's policy. Since I was the beneficiary, her family didn't get sent. Not only did they not get any money, But Cody's parents also came and trashed their house, taking whatever they could. And my BMW, since it was brand new, was fully covered by the insurance company. I bought a new car, sold the house, and quit my job. I went back to my parents' place and started helping them run the bed and breakfast. My daughter, Mia, after witnessing her mother's death, suffered from severe PTSD and forgot many things. She is now incredibly attached to me, following me around like a little shadow, constantly calling me Daddy. I could never bring myself to hate her. She's only 8 years old. She doesn't know any better. Her previous disdain and contempt for me were the result of years of her mother's influence. Fortunately, she has forgotten many things. Now, she's like a blank piece of paper, and I can be the one to draw on it. I can paint the most beautiful landscapes, sketch the deepest family bonds, and fill it with the brightest colors. Everything can still be beautiful,